Hello everyone, this is Suri from Toronto Drivers, and in this video I'm going to share tips on how to pass the road test in the very first attempt. Make sure you watch this video all the way through the end, and hey, make sure you spare 30 minutes to 1 hour before your road test to practice all of the tips that I've shared in this video. So without further ado, let's jump right into the video. So first things first, I want to tell you that you want to park facing forward so that, it becomes easier for you to go out when you're leaving the parking lot. If you're parked in reverse, then you know what? Then you're increasing your chances of failing the test. What if you become nervous and do something that you're not supposed to do? So always park facing forward. And now I'm going to start the test. So what I'll do is I'll indicate. So if I want to go left, I'll indicate left, right? And then I'm gonna scan like this, right? Scan as much as you can, right? I know it doesn't make sense to look all around. I know some of you are experienced drivers and you don't need to look, but do that for the test, right? So every time I indicate, basically, right, I will scan the intersection and I will look over my shoulder. Now, listen to me. A lot of people ask me, Harminder, when do we need to check our blind spot? Here's the thumb rule. Every time you indicate, you must check your blind spot, no matter what. Even if you don't need to check your blind spot, even if it doesn't make sense, just do that for the sake of the road test. Hey, it's not just for the sake of the road test. You want to get into a practice of checking your blind spot. Yesterday, I met someone who told me, Harminder, you know what? Blind spots never made sense to me. And, I just did that once and I saw a car. I couldn't see that car in the mirror, but I turned around and saw there was a car. If I hadn't turned my head around, I would have crashed into that car. So that is very important for you, okay? So always check your blind spot. Now you watch this, right? I'm changing lanes and I'm looking over my shoulder and I am checking the blind spot. Now I'm gonna go on the highway, okay? So once again, I signaled. I'm checking my mirror, side view mirror, blind spot, and now I switched lanes. Now here, this is a turn coming up, a right turn. Now, another important thing that you want to know is you want to be sure about where to look, right? I have made a video on left turns. I've clearly told in that as to where you should be looking. A lot of people get confused at major intersections because cars are coming from all the directions. So if you're sure about where to look, then you'll never make a mistake. Now I'm waiting for these guys to make the turn so that I can make that turn. Now it's a yield sign here. I don't know if you can see it. There it is. So that yield sign means that you have to yield to the oncoming traffic. Now here, I don't need to worry about it because it's a separate lane for turning right. So you should know the lanes well. Now I'm switching lanes, check the blind spot signaled. I'm checking my mirror. Now there's another thing that they say on the test, that you should check your mirrors every 5 to 10 seconds. Well, you don't want to go crazy, moving your head like this all the time. You want to be focusing in the front also. See, in general, what I've observed is that I do check my mirror, the rear view mirror especially, every 5 to 10 seconds as a habit. It's very helpful. You want to know what's happening behind you, right? And especially when you're braking, you must, because you want to see what the car behind you is doing. If the car behind you is coming fast and you brake, they're gonna bump into you, right? So you want to be sure what the car behind you is doing. Now here on this ramp, I tell my students to go at slightly over the recommended speed and do not touch the white and the yellow line. This is for the highway. Now as soon as this curve straightens out, I'm going to accelerate, right? So I was at 50 and I am going to go up to 100 now. I'm keeping an eye on this until I reach 100. I'm focusing on this. Now I'm going to look over the shoulder and switch lanes. I checked my mirror, side view mirror, and I looked over the shoulder, and I switched lanes. That was very smooth. Now sometimes, you know, there are cars coming from behind. If there are cars coming from behind, you want to let them pass first while you're trying to get up to the speed, and then switch behind them. Do not ever try to merge lanes in front of a car that is coming really fast. So that is what you need to remember. The highway is really busy. Okay. Now, you know, if the highway is really busy and the exit is coming up soon, they're not going to make you switch lanes too many times. What I was told by my students is that, you know, on the highway, before the next exit, they make you switch lanes 1 or 2 times, you know. So just know that once you get onto the highway, you will be expected to switch lanes. Now I'm checking my mirrors. This is all you need to do. Now, you don't want to go crazy, right? So like, you know, turning your head like a squirrel. No, don't do that. So I'm checking my mirrors. The good part about highways is that, you know, you're going straight. As long as you're going straight, you don't have to worry about looking on the left or right. All you can do is check your rear view mirror. Right now, I'm constantly checking my mirrors, as you can see. Now, that's a habit I've developed, and that's something you should develop, right? It's not just for the test. Hey, test at the end of the day is for your benefit, right? They want you to be a good and a safe driver, because, you know, after you get your license, you could drive the car, and you could drive literally any car, right? So you could even be driving a sports car that can go like 0 to 100 in less than 3 seconds. What if you make a mistake sitting in that car, right? So, you know, sometimes students fail. You know, consider that a blessing in disguise, right? If you hadn't failed, you wouldn't have become a good driver that you are today. So failing sometimes is good. You know what? Actually, I'm a positive thinker. You know, failing is always good. You know, take it. Take personal responsibility for failures. You know, if you blame it on the examiner or your instructor or your parents or the car, it ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work, my friend. Hey, everything that happens to you, you are 100% responsible for it. Okay? So take personal responsibility, dust it off, and move forward. Okay? Now, green light. Okay? Now, there's a pedestrian here. Okay? Now, since, okay, I'm turning, I will look over my shoulder and turn, right? Remember, I told you every time you signal, you must look over your shoulder. Now, on this ramp, I'm going a little slow. There's a car behind me. I don't have to worry about that car. A lot of people take pressure from cars behind them. Don't worry about it, right? As long as you're doing the right thing, no need to take pressure. Now, I'm starting to accelerate, and I'm trying. Now, when I'm trying to accelerate, I'm trying to look. I'm also looking at the speedometer, right? Now, another thing a lot of people do when merging onto the highway is they merge as soon as the dotted line starts. No. You want to go, sorry, you want to go at least in the middle of the lane before you switch, okay? And you should keep an eye. Now, this acceleration lane wasn't going to end, right? This actually turns into an exit, which is what I'm going to take. I'm going to switch lanes, checking my rear view mirror, side view mirror, and then the blind spot like this. It's a quick blind spot check, right? So you don't want to be like staring at it and then going crashing into something. No. Don't want to do that. Don't want to do that, okay? Focus. 1, 2, 3, quick check, and then get back in your lane, right? So, like, I'm just demonstrating, right? So 1, 2, 3, like this, right? This is what I used to tell my students, right? My students who had difficulty, you know, looking over their shoulder, they would twist their hands when looking over their shoulder. I would tell them, you know what? When you're driving straight, just look, and look, right? I want to see that you don't turn the steering wheel when you look over your shoulder, and that is what you can do. You know, I'm going to make a video on what your instructor should be teaching you. You know, there are a lot of good instructors, great instructors out there, but there are also some instructors. Okay, before I miss this point, right? So there was a yellow light, and I started slowing down as soon as I saw the yellow light, right? I did not go through the yellow light, and this is exactly what you need to do. If I had gone through the yellow light, and if I were doing a test, it would have been a fail, right? So you always want to look at the lights, stay focused. I know there are a lot of things that you need to do on the test, but hey, all of this comes with practice, right? And everything should become automated. Now, this is how your parents have done, or other experienced drivers are doing. Like, you know, they put on music, they're sipping coffee or sometimes beer while they're driving. You're not supposed to drink and drive, okay? But yes, I mean, all of this has become a muscle memory for me, and you want to get to that stage where everything becomes a muscle memory, and even though you're consciously not looking, you're driving safe, right? So yeah, that's the kind of a driver you want to become. Okay, I talk a lot. Did you also think I talk a lot? Write it down in the comment box below, right? If you think I talk a lot, write it down, right? Next time I'll talk very little. Now, why am I waiting? Oh my God. Okay, I could go. Yeah, this is a red light. I can turn, but I'm in the second lane. It makes it difficult for me to turn. This is a right turn lane, as well as it can go left, I guess. Yeah. Now I'm going to turn. Okay. So that was a good turn. Sorry, kept you waiting for so long. Okay, so you see, this is all about lane changing. Highway is super easy, super easy. G-test is very easy. You know, all you need to do is remember this. Whenever you signal, check your blind spot in the direction you've signaled. Now here, I'm going to turn on a yield sign. I check, look, there's nothing, I can keep going. Remember, yield sign means you don't have to stop. You can keep going, okay? Now, okay, so now I turned right, and I then switched to the left lane because, you know, I'm just demonstrating what you need to do. But on the test, you don't need to do that. But you must remember that on the test, you must switch to the right lane after you turn left. So you first turn into the first lane, and then after a while, you switch to the right lane. All right, so let me tell you one thing about the green light. Green light, when you're turning, you don't need to stop. You slow down, you look over your shoulder, right shoulder, just to make sure there's no pedestrian on that side, and you keep going straight. That's that. And let me tell you about stop signs, right? Now, a lot of people do not know what a full stop is, right? So you should know what a full stop means. A full stop, I have said that in one of my videos, and full stop means you have to hold the brake for like 1.5 seconds, right? So I'm gonna show it to you now when I stop at the lights, at the red light. Now make sure you enter from where the lane begins, okay? A lot of people enter from, you know, a little after that, but you should enter from, okay, there's a yield sign here. The light just turned green for them. I just stopped, and I'm constantly looking, you see. I have the signal on. I'm looking. I see after the red car I can turn. Okay. And then I'm gonna look, right? Scan. Look all around. Looking is the key to passing the test. But you should know when to look. A lot of people say, Harminder, I was looking, but the examiner still failed me. It's not the examiner. Maybe you did not look where you were supposed to look, or when you were supposed to look, right? You did not look at the right time. If you don't look when you're supposed to look, then of course they're going to fail you for that. Okay, so here there's a green light coming up, and I'm going to make a turn. It's green. I'm going to turn right, so I'll look left, look right, look over my shoulder, and go. Now I'm going to show you how to stop at a stop sign, right? So watch this. So there's a stop sign coming up. I slow down and I stop behind the white line. As soon as I stop seeing it, stop. 1, 2, 3, and that's that. That's that, and you can go, right? And I'm looking. Look, I'm looking like a crazy guy. You want to be sure, right? You want to be absolutely sure about the cars around you. I'm going to demonstrate another stop and another turn after the stop. So what you do is there's a stop sign coming up, you slow down and you check your mirror. When you slow down, you must check your mirror, okay? When you're braking. So turn left. Now I'm turning left. Great. I will look. This is enough. This is all the examiner needs. That's it. Now I'm going to do an emergency stop. An emergency stop, you want to make sure that there's no fire hydrant. You do not block the driveway on the right hand side, on the side you stop. A lot of people ask me, Harminder, there's a driveway in front of me. Well, you know what? It's hard to find a place where there's no driveways on either sides, right? So that way you'll keep driving till evening until you find a spot. So don't worry about that. Just stop on your side. At the place where there's no driveway, you're not blocking the driveway, and you do an emergency stop. You cancel the signal, turn on the flashers, park, and pull the handbrake. That's an emergency stop. That's it. And uphill and downhill, uphill you turn the wheel all the way to the left, downhill you turn it all the way to the right, park and handbrake. Okay, now I'm going to do a 3-point turn. Now this is what you need to remember, right? So 3-point turn, a lot of people don't remember to signal or look when they start. So I've signaled. Now I'll check my rear view mirror, side view mirror, look over my shoulder, there's nothing, and I'll turn the wheel. And while I'm turning, I'm looking all around. I will signal right and then reverse, and I will look all around. While I'm reversing, I'll keep turning, right, check the mirror, signal, drive, look all around, and then go. Wow, that was a very smooth turn. Okay. Forgot to take off the flashers. Don't make that mistake, okay? See, it's natural. It's natural. Like you sometimes forget. I am very forgetful. And one mistake I made when I was preparing for my G test, I used to forget to cancel my signal because in India, like honestly speaking, we don't signal much. And I used to forget to cancel the signal, and my instructor would go crazy. Harminder, why do you always forget to cancel your signal? You're gonna fail because of that. And by the way, I did fail my G test, but not for canceling the signal. By that time, I'd gotten rid of that habit of keeping my signal on. Okay, this guy is gonna... Now here, I'm going to make a left turn at the intersection. I'll make sure to check there's no pedestrian crossing. See, I got into first lane, and now I'm going to switch to the right lane, and I'm going to stay in the middle lane until the instructor tells me to switch lanes. Okay. Well, now I'm going to take you to the parking lot and show you what exactly you should do. Okay, so we're entering a plaza, and you want to go slow here, right? And when you enter a plaza, you know, some drive test centers are in a busy plaza. You want to be extra careful, you know, look all around, because cars come from anywhere. Cars and pedestrians. You won't believe how many students have failed because of this, you know. They do the test really well, and then they come to the plaza and they make a mistake. They make a mistake of not looking, and sometimes the examiner has to slam the brake, or he has to yell at them to brake or whatever, right? So you want to be extra careful. Make sure you do not go over the lines in the parking lot, you know. Let me show you this. So always stay in this driving lane. I'm not sure what this part is called. If you know what this thing is called, then please let me know in the comment box below. I could never come up with a term for this thing. You know, what's this thing called in between the lines? Would you call it a driving lane or what? I don't know. Help me out, please. So that is that. We are back at the parking lot, and I'm going to do a reverse parking now. Let's see how quickly I can do it. I'm a driving instructor. I should be able to pull it off in 3 seconds. Whoa! Yay. I got this right. Whoa. This is how my parking looks. See? I did it in 3 seconds. Hey, you also want to be able to do this in 3 seconds without hitting the car. Okay? I hope you liked this video, and if you did, then do give me a thumbs up, and all the best for the road test. If you do pass, then do come back and let me know in the comment box below about how the road test went and how this video helped you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again with another video.